Welcome back. As we promised, our second segment is going to speak about preserving environment. Minister of Environment Dr. Yasmin Fouad received recently His Excellency Minister of Environment of Djibouti, Mohammed Abdel Qadir Musa, as Egypt received the presidency of the Ministerial Council of the Regional Authority for the Conservation of the Environment of the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden in its 20th session. And by the way, Egypt assumed the presidency of the Council in its 16th session back in 2015. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us by phone Mrs. Amira Said, journalist. Thank you very much for being with us, Amira.
Thank you so much. I'm super honored.
Let's start with this fruitful cooperation between Egypt and other Arab and African nations regarding the preservation of the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. And when it comes to this, we did a lot, or there are a lot of public and state efforts to spread awareness and to preserve the environment generally. And here in specific, it's about those wonderful two places, the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. If you please elaborate.
Okay, actually Egypt has a broader strategy to enhance the climate action, drive collective action towards climate action through fruitful partnership and collaboration with both African and Arab countries. Because as we see now, when we are tackling the issue of climate change from a broader and holistic perspective, it will help also to reach swift and practical solutions to this challenge. Actually, if we are talking about the issue of climate change and biodiversity from the African perspective, we have to say that though Africa it is rich in terms of the natural wealth, the biodiversity, and the nature in general. It actually also is suffering from the impact of climate change, from different kinds of pollution that definitely has a direct impact on the biodiversity. If we are talking about also the Arab region, there are many initiatives now between Egypt and other Arab countries to address this important fight. Regarding the Red Sea in particular, definitely the Environment Ministry here in Egypt, it has launched many initiatives to preserve the environment, the maritime environment of the Red Sea and Aden Gulf, in order to create a momentum about this important issue, how to address both the issue of climate change and also how to protect biodiversity. And actually, during Egypt's presidency of COP27, it has already launched a number of initiatives related to biodiversity and how to support the nature-based solutions, and also how to prepare the international framework for biodiversity for post-2020. So now actually Egypt has its own local strategy, and also it has also broader strategy through which it's trying to drive collective action, create a momentum around this important topic.
This is the fruitful result of serious coordinating efforts between us and other African and Arab allies regarding this issue. But if you permit me, still there are a lot of challenges in front of all of us, on top of which is financing. Because when it comes to finance, I think we should have innovative ideas that think out of the box, trying to find solutions to attract more private sector companies, and to attract them to invest in the field of climate change. If you agree with me on that.
Exactly, definitely. And actually, Egypt, as I mentioned, when it tackles the topic of biodiversity, of climate change, it's trying to strike a balance between all important factors, definitely including the financial aspect. Definitely, if you don't have the required financial resources for climate solutions, you cannot address this topic. You cannot implement, as you mentioned, there are nature-based solutions, and also there are and infrastructure that is required to implement this strategy. And if we are talking about, and this is what actually Environment Minister Dr. Yasmin Fouad mentioned when she said that it's very important to focus on the sustainable management of both coast and maritime resources. If we are talking about sustainability of management of this, if we are talking about like the coastal environment, definitely there should be more financial, there should be mobilizing more financial resources to implement those strategies. Definitely, we have seen like the growing consequences of our impacts of climate change on the maritime life. We have seen even the urban expansion, the economic development. All these factors, those we in Egypt or on regional level, we have development plans. We have also to strike a balance between these development goals and also the environmental dimension. Because now, if we are talking about the issue of biodiversity, if we are talking about the issue of climate change, actually it is not just an environmental challenge; it is a developmental challenge. So definitely the environmental dimension should be given a priority and be put into consideration while implementing whether the developmental plans or the urban expansion and other issues that it poses a serious threat to the coastal environment. And this is actually also what Dr. Yasmin Fouad mentioned when she said that this requires further efforts from regional partners in this domain. Yeah.
Amen to that. And I think we sent a very strong message to the whole world after hosting COP27 last November in the Red Sea Resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, turning Sharm el-Sheikh into a green city, and to end with the damage and loss result in the final communique, to tell the whole world that the international community should shoulder this responsibility. And we are still working hard at the presidents of the COP27 and cooperating with the United Arab Emirates when they are going to host COP28 later in just few months from now. I mean, we are continuing our efforts and we are building on what we have achieved already.
Exactly. Definitely, COP27. We can say that it is a milestone in climate action. We have seen the historic decision regarding the establishment of loss and damage fund, and this was a long-awaited dream for many countries that are suffering from climate change. Now Egypt is trying to collaborate with all partners to move from vision into action to implement the outcomes and the outcomes of COP27. In September, we have the African Climate Summit in Kenya, and in November there will be COP28. And actually, Egypt, whether with Arab countries or African countries, Egypt is trying to, as I mentioned, is trying to address this file from a broader and holistic perspective. And definitely, this is based on both.
And Amira, if you permit me to interrupt here, it's my final question. We are doing practical steps on the ground. For example, or last but not least, Her Excellency Minister Yasmin Fouad, Minister of Environment, opened or inaugurated herself 3 new diving sites in Hurghada recently, just a few days ago, and to attract more who are in love with our coral reefs in Hurghada, or to be accurate, in all our Red Sea resort. This is to say that our coral reefs are of the most wonderful worldwide, and we are keen to expand or to invest more and more in this regard, because we do have the nature and we are going to do our best to preserve it, whether on the land or underwater.
Definitely, exactly. This is a very important step in terms of supporting the ecotourism, which is also has a great potential in the upcoming period. If you are talking about Hurghada and the Red Sea in particular, actually the Red Sea depth, it's like, I think it is more than 2,000 meters, and the Red Sea enjoys like a unique and distinguished biological diversity. It has many coral reefs, many we can say it's flexibility and very, we can say, attractive environment. So definitely there is a priority for preserving the maritime environment in the Red Sea, and also supporting the ecotourism, making the best use of this unique Red Sea, definitely. Yeah.
Amira, I always enjoy our discussion. Thank you very much for your input, and have a very good day. We do have a paradise underwater, and those who do not or who did not have this experience to practice diving or snorkeling in Egypt Red Sea Resort, you are missing a lot. Well, by this we come to the end of our breakfast show today, and tomorrow it's going to be another episode with another crew. Stay tuned on Nile TV International always for more updates, and for more details please log on to www.nileinternational.net. Many thanks for watching.